Welcome to another community conversation. I'm your host, Ian Parkinson, and I'm pleased to have with me again today Michelle Sauve from the Neighbourhood Associations. Welcome, Michelle.
Thanks, Ian. Glad to be here.
Now, I think across the community, a lot of people have heard the term neighbourhood associations. This is obviously something new to Medicine Hat because I couldn't find much information to start the conversation. So, being as how you're on the neighbourhood associations, what are they?
Well, neighborhood associations, as you mentioned, is a term that's used in communities across North America. And we have some very strong ones in Alberta, in Edmonton, Calgary, and other communities. For Medicine Hat, our association, Medicine Hat, our Neighborhoods Association of Medicine Hat and Area has been around for just around a year. And the reason you probably hadn't heard about us is there wasn't much information out there as we were sort of forming and finding some funding, which I'll talk a little bit about in a moment. So in that year, we've done all of that background work and established who we are and what we hope to accomplish. And so in the spring, we became a registered charity or society rather in Alberta. And we really just are a group of service providers and engaged residents who want to support communities and neighborhoods to have more events, to bring people together and to create a sense of connection and belonging in community.
So these will be relatively small groups, say half a dozen blocks, or a small neighbourhood like Connaught or Marlborough or the Flats?
It's really up to each individual group. So we've had the Southeast Hill Association not too long ago. Yeah, a while ago we had the North Flats Neighbourhood Association. Years ago there was a Southridge Community Association which advocated to bring the Southridge Y to fruition. So we've had many of these in different forms over the years, but our new association is intended to make it easier for community groups to be able to access funding and to apply for resources for projects if they wish, if they want to have a backyard party, or maybe they're doing some advocacy to make some changes in their community.
So then, okay, we'll go right down to the bottom, I guess. If there is a community, I'll pick mine, Marlborough. If there's a couple of young couples who want to do something to, if at a minimum, I suppose, develop friendships or communications or relationships with their neighbours, how do they start a neighbourhood association?
Well, and that's just the reason we've formed, is we would have sort of some background information, resources and tools to support them. So, we might help them to plan and host a neighborhood event to help them to meet their neighbors. We also have an amazing lending library that is in a trailer. So it's got all kinds of games for yard games and chairs and tables. There's also a shade tent available that's quite lovely. It's quite large. And then we would have, if they were doing a community event, we would have poster templates and invitations for them. So we're really just here to support any community group who wants to get something started in their neighborhood.
All right, so if a community group wants to form a neighbourhood association and they want to borrow the trailer, who do they call?
Well, the best way to reach out to Neighborhoods Associations of Medicine Hat and Area is through the Shape Your City website. And so there's quite a long handle, of course, but if you just Google Shape Your City and then you get to that page and go to Neighborhoods, you'll find all the information that you need.
So do you have a vision or a mission statement?
We do. I'm actually going to read it. So our vision is a healthy, diverse, caring community where everyone thrives. And then our mission, or the actual work we're doing, is to engage and empower our diverse neighborhoods by supporting and connecting neighbors to create a sense of belonging. So that sense of belonging piece is really important. And I just want to share some statistics. So research shows that our actual experience of being involved in community has been on a steady decline since the 1960s for various reasons. I'm sure we can all think of some. And I've mentioned this with you before, but the effects of social isolation are not just mental health related either. So, we know that the impacts of isolation can actually be likened to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Extreme loneliness can be twice as deadly as obesity. It can cause higher inflammation at the cellular level. It can make recovery from disease slower, and it can make a person more susceptible to anxiety and depression. It also can lead to higher rates of suicide and increased antisocial behavior and violence. So when we think about those impacts of social isolation and loneliness, we're working to connect people to create that sense of connection and belonging in their communities.
So excuse me, what you're trying to promote then is really what the old neighborhoods used to look like.
Yes, exactly. Remember, we borrowed a cup of sugar, we watched each other's children, you borrowed a tool from your neighbor's shed.
If the curtains weren't opened by 9:30, somebody walked over and knocked on the door to make sure you're okay.
Right, exactly. And we know that we have neighborhoods like that in our community. Hatters are amazing people. We just know that there are some groups that might need a little bit more support. And I just want to share this. So the local Medicine Hat Local Immigration Partnership did some interviews, and they found that 57% of newcomers to Canada had difficulty making connections or felt isolated, and that 70% of the general public in Medicine Hat want to interact more with newcomers through neighborhood activities. So our neighborhood associations will help to foster that and continue to sustain it.
Right. We're having a barbecue. We know that you're new in that home. Somebody goes over and knocks on the door and says, "Hey, come over and have a hot dog and a pop."
Or bring your foods from your community, your culture, and we learn from each other that way, and we build bridges. Yeah.
Well, I think it's an excellent idea, and it's been a long time coming, but I know how many plates you're spinning in the air already. Mm-hmm. So the Shape Your City, it's a city program, for a better word, but it seems to be involving itself a lot more in smaller community work and building those connections. And I would imagine the other advantage to a neighborhood association, besides knowing who your neighbors are and trying out different food, which is always a good idea, if there are municipal issues, they can then, as a group, bring that to city administration.
Well, we'll leave that to those groups, but yeah, sometimes that's what happens when neighborhoods connect is, maybe they want to see their playground improved, or maybe they want some enhancements to their street lighting. But our real focus is supporting people to come together, and if they need support for something special, like a special event. Yeah.
So is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would actually, as I mentioned, this Neighborhoods Association is fairly new to the community, and so people may just be hearing about it. And this is actually intentional because we're having a launch of our Neighborhoods Association, and it's happening the weekend of October 5th and 6th, and we're calling it the Ignite Your Community Neighborhood Walks event. And so what we're doing is we're hoping to find people in various areas of the city who want to be a walk leader. Mm-hmm. And so to start with, we've chosen 6 areas. So like Crescent Heights, the Flats, the Hill, Crestwood, Southridge. I maybe haven't listed them all, Ross Glen. And we're going to try to match people up. We're going to support people who want to lead a walk with posters and invitations. And we will also have a walk in Kincooley, a citywide walk on October 6th from 1 till 3 p.m., just for anybody who maybe the timing doesn't work out for their neighborhood walk, or their neighborhood maybe didn't have a walk. So this is our launch weekend, and then you'll probably be hearing more and more about Neighborhoods Association.
Now, this neighborhood walk, this is just for the exercise, or is somebody going to say, well, this home was built in 1920 by...
Well, we want to make it easy for walk leaders, so we have a bit of a resource kit to help them. But really the walk, of course, is a little bit of nice exercise, some fresh air, but also we want to encourage people to make it fit for them. So we have one group that is going to highlight some small businesses in the area of where they're doing their little walk. We have another group who thought they'd talk a little bit about the history of the area that they're in. So each walk leader can choose to personalize it based on what they might think is important in their community. The other thing that we hope people will do is, after the walk is over, talk a little bit about what they do love about their neighborhoods and maybe what they'd like to have more of in their neighborhoods. So just an opportunity to bond and connect over being neighbors.
What a great idea. Well done.
Yeah. We're really excited about it. And of course, we're going to have some refreshments and some light snacks for those neighborhood walks. And none of this would be possible without a grant from the Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta. And so we're really grateful for that. And it's helped us to purchase the trailer and the supplies that go in it.
The Community Foundation of Southeast Alberta is becoming a lot more in the public eye lately.
Absolutely.
They were here just the other day with the top 7 over 70.
Right.
So, well, I'm glad to see you got the funding for this program. I wish you well. Good luck.
Thank you.
If I'm in town, maybe I'll go for a walk with my neighbors as well.
Wonderful. We'd love to see a walk from the Marlborough area.
Is there anything else?
No, we just hope everybody will come out and enjoy. And if you can't find a walk for your community, come to Kincooley on Sunday, October 6th from 1 to 3 p.m. We hope to have some snacks there. We'll have a walk there as well, and hopefully some fun games from the trailer.
Okay, thank you for coming in, Michelle.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you for watching.